Marketing in 2025 is wild. Savvy customers spot fake messaging instantly, privacy changes make ad targeting a nightmare, and everyone needs more content than ever. That's why you have to check out HubSpot's new marketing trends report. It doesn't just show you what's changing, it shows you exactly how to deal with it. Everything's backed by research, but focused on marketing plays you can use tomorrow. You ready to turn marketing hurdles into results? Go to clickhubspot.com/marketing to download it for free. Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, March 20th. I'm John Weigell here with Juliet, Bennett, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. Fast food is getting faster than ever. After a decades-long slump in fast food serving times, the new age of AI, robotics, and overall digitization is taking the burger-slinging industry by storm, with brands like Taco Bell, McDonald's, and Wendy's all moving forward. So how are they all getting faster, and just how fast is it getting? We'll chat about that in a bit, but first, let's give you the news in business and tech. To start us off today, Macy's is looking to get into the TV business. The retail chain is creating a series based on Julie Sato's book, When Women Ran Fifth Avenue. The show is going to follow women integral to the rise of department stores, or, as Macy's CMO Sharon Otterman put it, women who understood the power of storytelling and branding long before it was a business strategy. Excited to see it. Next, according to the Record Industry Association of America, music streaming subscriptions in the U.S. have surpassed 100 million in 2024. That's up from 96.8 million in 2023. We're at a new high here in the States. Spotify is the dominant force, holding 36% of the market share here, with Apple Music at 30.7%. Not so far behind, actually. From there, we talk some Nvidia. Of course, GTC is this week, but Nvidia founder Jensen Huang announced a partnership with General Motors as a big headline, saying now is the time for autonomous vehicles. The collaboration will bring Nvidia's AI infrastructure to the automaker to help build its own custom AI systems, including robots, factories, and self-driving cars. Nvidia's new tech is going to allow GM to build digital twins of its factories and assembly lines, testing out changes to production processes without disrupting its business. And from there, we go to Meta. Engadget has revealed some pretty juicy details from Sarah Wynne Williams' memoir about her time working at Facebook, Careless People, A Cautionary Tale of Power, Greed, and Lost Idealism. What a title. Juliet, what does this reveal?
I think something that we all know, that if true, rich people are strange. Let's be clear, Meta has called the book false and defamatory, but some of her claims include that Mark Zuckerberg once built himself a safe room to protect himself from Zika while in Peru, that Sheryl Sandberg lied about nearly being a passenger aboard a fatal plane crash, and that Joel Kaplan, who is apparently now Meta's chief global affairs officer, did not know the location of various countries. And I think one of the things Engadget also said was that he didn't know Taiwan was an island, which a lot of people probably don't. Honestly, I think a lot of people are bad at geography outside of the area where they personally live.
Sure.
But they're also not a global officer of a major tech company.
Keyword global.
So, I'm very curious about this book and all of the tea within. But of course, it is worth noting that there's been a lot of pushback from Meta. They didn't want her to be able to promote this book. They're saying that this stuff isn't true. So a big drama, actually, surrounding this book.
Yeah. And that big drama will probably translate to lots of sales. So
I would assume, yes.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a popular commuter audiobook, personally.
Yes, definitely. Maybe by workers going to and from Meta's offices, perhaps. And finally here, Yum Brands entered a deal with Nvidia, of all companies, to bring AI to its brands: Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut. Other fast food giants like McDonald's and Wendy's have already invested in AI tech to improve operations, but Yum Brands will use AI similarly and will also add AI order taking and restaurant performance assessments. This all ladders super well, actually, into what we're talking about today. And that's how fast food is getting faster. Fast food restaurants want to quicken the pace for the lunch rush. They want to get these orders out, and it looks like they're turning to digital operational shifts in order to do it. So, Juliet, for right now, how productive are fast food restaurants?
Much more productive than they have been in a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
What we're looking at here is a study from a group of economists, and they found that fast food restaurants were kind of stagnant in terms of productivity for a long time, between 1992 and 2019. And then all of a sudden, productivity surged, and now they are enjoying about 15% more sales per employee.
Wow.
Now, what happened, as I think most people can guess, was right after 2019, there was this thing we all remember, the pandemic. And during this time, customers adopted a lot of new habits.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of dining in places, they were doing takeout, curbside pickup, delivery. People just simply were not going and sitting inside anywhere. And that is a habit that we have not dropped, even though things have normalized. We could go sit at Taco Bell, but we don't, is apparently what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And to your point, I've seen a lot of fast food restaurants after they hit a certain hour, maybe like 10 p.m. or something, they convert to only drive-through.
Right.
That's been a thing for quite a while as I can remember it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this definitely enhances that point greatly because it seems like people just aren't really visiting or going into fast food places anymore. And they're really emphasizing the fast in fast food right now. But why did it used to be so slow? Let me start there.
I think it's mostly that customers did hang out and there weren't all of these ways to quickly order. I think it's worth noting that a lot of restaurants have made changes to prioritize not just the customer that comes in and gets takeout, but also the app driver who's coming in and grabbing a Grubhub order.
Sure.
So a lot of times now you will find in a fast food restaurant, not only do they have a smartphone app where you can do everything in advance and then walk right up to the side counter and pick up your Starbucks drink or whatever that is, they also have takeout shelves. There's a lot of restaurants where you can just walk in, grab your order. You know, there are a lot of restaurants who have adopted new technologies to prioritize takeout customers, not just the mobile apps, but, you know, you'll walk in sometimes and you'll see a kiosk and you can order at the kiosk instead of using a person. They've expanded their drive-thrus. They've added AI to their drive-thrus. It's kind of a big prioritization of getting people in and out. And that is exactly what people seem to want to be doing.
Right.
The data they're actually looking at, and there's multiple studies that found this, they're looking at mobile phone data. And what they're finding is there's an increase in customers who are spending 10 minutes or less inside a restaurant, which unless you're very fast, it's typically not the amount of time it would take to sit down and enjoy a meal. So they're adopting to what customers are doing and it's working out for them because they're moving people faster and employees have to spend less face time with each customer and they also have to spend less time cleaning and all the things that you expect when someone comes and sits down for a meal.
Yeah, fascinating that you mentioned all those places too, like Starbucks, for instance, because they've been looking to pivot their strategy to a more cafe, come and hang out type of model because they've really been cranking at the drive-thrus this past 10 years. So they're looking to go back, but a lot of these other companies are looking to just keep moving forward. And what's next for those companies like McDonald's and Wendy's and people who do want to digitize more things?
I think we're going to see a lot more robots. We are already moving in that direction with the kiosks. We've already seen AI that's being developed to take orders at drive-thrus with, varying results. And we're also seeing a lot of automated machines that have taken over some of the most repetitive tasks in a restaurant. We previously talked about Flippy. Flippy can make fries. That's something that's pretty repetitive in a restaurant. Other restaurants have machines that can make salsa or guacamole, or even when you think about different types of ice machines that make different forms of ice. And now, the people don't have to carry the big buckets around. It's right there. So there's a lot of machines involved. I've even seen machines that operate as bartenders and baristas.
Wow.
So I think we're going to see an increase in that. Now, obviously, this technology has to be worth the investment. One thing we also talk a lot about on this pod is apps that don't work and, things that just don't work. And there have been times where I have gone to order food from a restaurant that has adopted mobile ordering, and I simply cannot complete the order because there's some sort of glitch. And then what do?
Right.
I just go to someplace down the street where I order my food from a human being. So, it only works if the tech works, but I think we're going to see a lot of people try to adopt it. One interesting thing that I read about in restaurant business was Potbelly, which is a chain. It's actually perfecting what they're calling a digital kitchen, and that will send the orders to the back line, but it will sort them based on how long they take to make. So basically trying to increase efficiency. And that's an interesting thing because a lot of what we're seeing in fast food restaurants are changes that are designed to shave even seconds off of taking an order.
Yes.
So,
right. I mean, we talk about Chick-fil-A, like they've been making waves on these new productivity lines that shave a few seconds, but a few seconds for 500 meals in a day, that's a lot of time. Right. So yeah, it seems like they're really winning back a lot of their time and making things faster. Do you feel some excitement about this? Or are you pretty lukewarm about it? Because I'm kind of lukewarm about it. Fast food is already pretty fast to me. How much faster can it get, in my opinion? But I don't know. Maybe I'm the minority.
Well, I'm not somebody who eats a lot of fast food, to be honest.
Sure.
I don't have a car, so I don't do drive-thrus. And I don't know, I typically just walk to whatever is local to me. I would say the only fast food place that I ever go to with any sort of regularity is Starbucks, and not even then that much. But I will say, I think there's a couple of things we're going to see play out. There are a lot of fast food workers who want higher wages. They're unionizing. We've seen that at Starbucks. Mm-hmm. I think, if you're going to go ahead and say we're so productive, we're serving so many more customers, the question is, are you going to be replacing your human employees with robots and AI, or are you going to be empowering those workers to spend more face time with the customers?
That's the big question.
That seems to be what Starbucks wants. They want that like cozy hangout feel. And so they're encouraging the baristas to write the name on the cup, draw a little picture, And yeah, I think it's worth investing in those human employees if that's what's happening.
Right.
And then again, the other thing that I think I'm going to see play out is there's going to be a lot of productivity strategies that I think do not pay off in the end. And people are going to have to go back to the way they used to do things. Chick-fil-A has always been the slowest drive-through, but has the highest satisfaction rate.
Yes.
The other day I was at In-N-Out. I almost never go to In-N-Out, but I was with someone who had like a medical procedure where they had to fast for a really long time. And they're like, we're going to In-N-Out. That's all I want. So we go to In-N-Out, and of course, In-N-Outs in Los Angeles, where I live, have like a Space Mountain line every single time you go.
Oh, yeah.
So we're waiting in the drive-thru forever. Then there's a woman, a human woman, not a robot, is walking down the line of cars. And she's taking each order individually on an iPad so that when you actually get up to the window, your order is ready. So the speaker is not in play at all.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool until we got our order and they were all wrong.
Oh, well.
Which,
See, you get some human interaction, but you also get some human error maybe. So
exactly.
I get it.
Now, I ate my burger anyway because I didn't care. But there are people who are going to care, and there are people who are going to say, okay, In-N-Out screws up my burger every time. I'm not going there anymore.
Right.
So does the iPad thing work? Is it working, or is it getting too convoluted, sending these orders and you got to match this and it's not happening? And is that human error or is that, technology error? I think that's what these managers and the people who are making these decisions are really going to have to grapple with.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to iron out if they want to be a factory or a restaurant at the end of the day.
Exactly.
You got to pick a side and you got to really invest in that side and hope it plays out.
Right, because one of the things the NPR article that actually covered this study noted was that if you're in a sit-down restaurant, you don't want to use the QR code. You want the paper code, and you want to talk to a person. You want to ask them questions. So,
exactly.
Yeah, it's all about what kind of experience and at what point does convenience just not worth it.
Absolutely. All right, and that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of the HubSpot Podcast Network. Our editor is Robert Hartwig. Our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a ton more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. You can find it at thehustle.co/email, and you can follow us on Instagram at thehustledaily. We will see you tomorrow. So, if you're listening to this podcast, you are more than likely thinking about business ideas. Every entrepreneur has a million ideas vying for attention in their brain, and there's probably that one idea you can't stop thinking about. The one that came to you at 2 a.m. that you got up and wrote down somewhere. Well, I'm here to tell you that idea could be worth $5,000 right now. The Hustle and Indie Hackers are teaming up to find the next great founder and get them started with $5,000. All you got to do is record a 60-second video pitch telling us your business idea, how it makes money, and why it's awesome. One winner gets $5,000 cash plus promotion to millions of Hustle readers. Make sure you enter by April 4th at thehustle.co/bigbreak. That's thehustle.co/bigbreak. You can also click the link in the show notes of this episode. The winner will be announced on April 11th right here on the Hustle Daily Show, the Hustle newsletter, and on the Hustle's social accounts. Now get to pitching. Hey everybody, I've been listening to this awesome podcast lately. You know it, you love it. My First Million, hosted by Sam Parr and Sean Puri, is brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. My First Million features famous guests like Alex Hormozi, Sophia Amoruso, and Hassan Minhaj, sharing their secrets on how they made their first $1 million and how to apply their learnings to capitalize on today's business trends and opportunities. Talk about somebody that's really in the now. They had on Mr. Beast recently, and Mr. Beast talked about about his origin story and how he made his first $1 million and how you can make anything go viral if you really try to do it, which is a great listen. So I would definitely recommend checking it out. You can catch all the recent episodes whenever you want, and you can listen to My First Million wherever you get your podcasts.